Oh hey NASD fans, welcome back to the driveway. I wanted to take a minute to talk about my Jeep Gladiator here and give you guys an honest long-term owner's review. Well, as you can probably tell, this is going to be more of a Jeep episode. I'm a Jeeper myself. I have a lot of Jeeper friends. We're all kind of Jeeper creepers. I love bikes, but this is how I get around when I'm not on two wheels, and it's a lot of fun in the dirt. I've owned this thing for 30,000 miles now, a little over 30,000, and it's been 3 years. I just wanted to tell the people who are potentially buying a Jeep or looking at a used one my honest experience with it so far. I also want to tell you about any maintenance issues I've had and take care of a potential maintenance issue that I've found. So I've owned this thing for 3 years now. As far as maintenance issues that have come up, I've got, as you can see, 437 miles. So a good amount of miles, a safe amount for initial maintenance issues to appear. I've had nothing. This has been a great rig. This is the Ecodiesel, and one thing you have to deal with is the DEF fluid going in to the DEF tank, which I don't think is that big of a deal because one tank of DEF lasts for thousands of miles. Also, because it has such a fancy exhaust system on the diesel, it has to go through a regen cycle every so often. What I had heard initially was it does this automatically behind the scenes when the computer decides it's the appropriate time, typically on the highway. It has notified me twice during my time. Once, the first time was around 26 or 7,000 miles, I believe. I think I have a picture of that. And the second time was actually only a few thousand miles after that, and it hasn't happened since, but it comes on the screen and it says, your exhaust filter is getting full. Please continue driving so the regen cycle can commence. And so I did. Luckily, I live in an area where I can get to a stretch of road that's stoplight free, that's 50 miles an hour pretty quickly, and I just cruise down that road and the regen cycle comes on and it burns off the excess ash in the exhaust filter, and then it's complete and off you go. Good to go. The other honest to goodness reason I bought the diesel upgrade was, one, better off-road low-end torque performance than the gas V6. A little diesel swap in a Jeep has been a popular upgrade in the aftermarket world for a long time. It's a fantastic thing to do to an older Jeep. Gives you really nice off-road performance and gives you incredible gas mileage. That brings me to my second point of getting the diesel upgrade, was the gas mileage. The gas mileage is good in this thing. It does, for real, get close to 30 on the highway. I will show you guys scrolling through the menu. Oh, I have to turn it on. But there's your honest to goodness mileage. This is a mix of city and highway driving. 23. So that's pretty good. In my eyes, that's awesome. So here's the owner's manual. One thing I recommend that everybody do is start in the back the log of maintenance. So you can see I changed my oil and filter at 62, then 12, then the fuel and air at 12. Probably gonna change the oil and filter again, I don't know, 36 or so. I try to go less than the factory specified 10,000 miles. This is the oil I've been using. AMSOIL European Motor Oil 5W40. This is the correct API spec number for this application. This is SN. One issue I did have was I went down to the dealer to ask for the factory oil filter and enough oil to do the oil change. They gave me Rotella T6 oil. They said it would work fine, it would offer the same amount of protection. I did look at the API number on there and it was one below what the manual calls for this engine. The thing I noticed with the Rotella was the engine was noisier. It was audibly noisier, sounded more diesel-y going down the road. As soon as I bought the AMSOIL and switched it out, which I did relatively quickly because I didn't like that noise, it quieted right down, smoothed right out, was right back to how it sounded straight from the factory. So one of the main issues that one of my friends discovered for me recently is some significant tire cupping wear on the front tire. These are the factory tires. These are the Falcon Wild Peak mud terrains. So what is tire cupping? Tire cupping is when the tread blocks are worn unevenly from the front to the back or side to side. It's where the height of the tread block on one side, whatever side that may be, is different than on the other side. And I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but the front of these blocks are thicker than the rears. This is a pretty common problem for mud terrain tires, especially on a heavier vehicle. The Gladiator is kind of a beast. This sucker weighs 6,000 pounds, something like that, 3 tons. So the tire wear issue was pointed out to me by one of my old friends and one of my old roommates, my buddy Ryan, who's a long-term Jeeper himself. And during college together, he worked at Discount Tire for a while and learned a lot about tires and tire wear, proper tire rotation, proper tire weighting and inflation. And he pointed this out and gave me the correct remedy for it. So you'll have to excuse the crudity of my drawing here, but one way to maximize tire life when you're dealing with differential wear between the front and rear or side to side is rotate your tires more often. And one also way to combat the cupping wear is to move the front tire. This front tire is going to go here. This front tire is going to go here. And then the rear tires are just going to move up. The rear tires are worn fairly evenly. The front tires have differential cupping, and so I want them to not only get rotated to the back, but also I want them to change direction. So right now, this tire, is rotating this way. But when I flip it around and move it here, it's going to be rotating the opposite direction. I want to maximize life out of these, so I'm going to rotate them. So 30,000 miles, the brakes look pretty good, the shoes, or the pads look pretty good. There's a little dirt and mud in here that I'm going to try to clean off while I'm in here, but no big deal. Everything looks pretty good. Here's an issue I need to address. This caked on mud in here, this will cause balance issues, so I'm gonna blast that off while I got all these off. Well, as you can see, I kind of opened up Pandora's box by spraying off some of the mud from the underbelly of this thing. A lot has come off, but while I'm doing this, I'm going to get it up in the air a little bit higher and get the rest of the mud under there. I'm going to crawl under there with the spray gun and go to town, see if I can clean this up a little bit better, and then rinse off my driveway. Thanks for watching.